What up, what up? I want to do a throwback album review, man, since I bought it the other day. Now, this album takes me back to when I used to kick with my homegirl, Kim. Shout out to her. And I do remember Tim 101. I bought that shit. We bumped that. I was the only nigga like when I was kicking with my niggas that had that shit. You know, we bumped the shit out of that. Like, this after I moved from the Bay Area, you know, to the Valley and shit. And we played that shit every fucking day, like all day. Like, that was the hardest shit that was out at the time. You feel me? In 2005, Jeezy was hard as fuck. And I remember always calling my ex-girlfriend called me, I call her, whatever. We talk on the phone and shit, and she always hear in the background, like, damn, every time I talk to you, playing that Inspiration. I mean, not Inspiration, but that TM 101, you feel me? It's like, that shit was just a fucking classic, like, all the way through. And so by the time it came out with the Inspiration, I kind of wasn't feeling it. I didn't even buy it. I had the chance to buy it. I was in Best Buy and I passed on it. But my homegirl, like I was saying, she bought it. And she always played that shit. I mean, the first record, I love it. You know, that shit, it was catchy. I was like, okay, I'm fucking with that record. You know, but it wasn't what I expected for Jeezy to come back, you know, with, you know, his next album. And that was the first single. I was like, I mean, it's cool, it's catchy, but it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? What more could it be? Then he came with the Go Getter record with R. Kelly, and I was like, okay, this is a little bit harder. Like, you know what I'm saying? The ad-libs with, you know, R. Kelly on the hook. Boom, I was fucking with it. Then it's like, I don't even remember the next track if he even had 3 motherfucking goddamn videos to it. You know what I mean? But, oh, Dreaming with Keisha Cole, that's when it got me. I was like, okay, now that's my song. I was fucking with it from the production to the hook, to everything he was talking about, you know. And then I Got Money was one of my favorite records featuring T.I. Jeezy, that's the song she always liked to play. Like, Jeezy liked to smoke, Jeezy liked to drink. Like, she played that motherfucker so much, I used to get so fucking mad. Like, I swear to God, one time, like, I just was not in the mood to hear this nigga shit, right? Because I always said his first album was better than his second one, and we went back and forth. She must have played this fucking song 3 times in a row. Nigga, I'm trying to tell you, bro, by the 4th time, I literally pressed eject and frisbeed her shit out the window. That's where that frisbee shit came from, right? But it wasn't the actual copy. I didn't know. I just grabbed it and frisbeed it. And she was like, yo, you gonna actually, you know what I'm saying, frisbee my shit out the window. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, your shit got frisbee, right? And so she started laughing. I'm like, why the fuck you laughing? And she was like, I had a feeling that she was going to do that. That's why I burnt it and put that in the deck. And I was like, oh, that wasn't the original copy? And she was like, nah. And then she went out, you know, on City Book and put the real one in. And I was like, well, how the fuck did you know? She was just like, cuz every time we get in the car and make sure I play that song and see her reaction, she knew I hated that fucking song. I didn't even like the, you know what I mean, the CD at first, because I really couldn't get into it, because after having a debut album like that, I was like, hell no, it ain't shit fucking with it, you know what I mean? But the more I got into it, it's actually dope. I sat with it, you know what I mean, the other day when I bought it and showed y'all that shit. If you follow me on IG and shit and you see the CD open, I sat with it, man. Shit dropped December 12th, 2006. And I gotta say, it's pretty cool. Some say it's a classic. I wouldn't say that shit. Like, it by far, it's more of his approach to be more commercial, if you want to say that. But I damn sure wouldn't say it was no motherfucking classic. But that was just him trying new things. And you could tell with the 3 a.m. record with Timbaland, the Go Getter record with R. Kelly, I Love It kind of got that melody type. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite song on this motherfucker has to be Mr. 17.5, man. That's my fucking song, bro. Like, I'm telling you, like, that shit, the way it just come on, like, that sample record is just fucking phenomenal. I Got Money, you know what I mean? Only joints I didn't fuck with, like 3 a.m., I didn't like that shit. I didn't like it. And Keep It Gangsta featuring Slick Pulla and Blood Raw, you know what I mean? I didn't like it. I knew even back then he wasn't gonna fuck with Blood Raw and Slick Pulla. Similar situation to the Freddie Gibbs shit now. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's equipped to be a star. But other than that, I mean, the album's straight. You know, I fuck with 14 of the records. You know, 8.5 out of 10. I give it a rating. Production about 8.5 out of 10. You know what I mean? But it wasn't Jeezy's best work. But by the time the recession came, he got his shit right. You know, and that's put him boom here, because the recession, '08, man, that was it. Like, me and my boy Troy, my brother from another, we knocked that shit every day, like, because I knew I was going to jail and shit like that. Yeah, a nigga like me been in jail. You know, we knocked that shit every fucking day, like, that whole year up to me going in, like, every day, like, we played that shit. And then finally came the time when I went to court, you know what I mean? But I was fucking hungover and shit the night before, you know, and woke up. But I still woke up, you know, early, 7 in the morning, went up, got to court, and judge was like, yo, you know what I mean? It was like I had some bread to pay, and I was like, I'm not doing it. So then I just was like, fuck it, here, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Put the cuffs on me. And after that, you know what I mean, went to jail, you know, and I still sometimes would call home, and my mom was like, yo, your boy, you know, he told you the recession, you feel me? So, you know what I mean, that kept a nigga like, you know what I mean? Like, cause we fucked with it like that. But I will say, like, inspiration, I got where he was going with it, but I don't think nobody understood the point of, like, when they heard it. Because when he's putting out them mixtapes, like, I Am the Street Dream, and that other joint, it's like, that should have been, you know, TM 102. Because you remember it's supposed to be a theme, 101, 102, but they said the title was too long, so they made him call it the Inspiration. And then when TM 103 came, people still was like, what the fuck is this? I'm going to tell y'all like this. TM 103, if y'all remember Trap or Die 2, the mixtape, go back and listen to that shit, bro. That was supposed to be motherfucking TM 103. Straight up, because he kept saying it throughout the motherfucking mixtape, and it's like, you know how the label be. You know what I mean? I don't mean to get sidetracked, but I just want to break down the whole history of how I became a fan of Jeezy and shit. You know what I mean? But it wasn't even none of that. It was the fucking song that he did, dissing Gucci Mane, that got over the T.I. beat. They're like, oh, this nigga's hard. But take it back then, before that, it was a Diamonds record on Fabulous album. You feel me? So I know about Jeezy, man. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of you niggas probably didn't even get the Fabulous album. You feel me? The From Nothing to Something joint. You know what I mean? No, it wasn't on the Real Talk album. I think it was Real Talk or From Nothing to Something, if I remember straight. But either way it go, that's where Fab introduced the world basically to Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? Then he had the one joint with Bun B when it was in the club, and he had the CTE chain. But yeah, man, Young Jeezy, The Inspiration, definitely, it's a cool album. You know, I had to get it to, you know, go with my collection. So basically, I got TM 101, The Inspiration, The Recession, TM 103, Seen It All. I just need to get his first one and The Recession over so I can have the booklets. You know what I mean? So I'm still looking for them. Easily, I can go on Amazon, I know, but I'm trying to see if I can, like, find them in Best Buy in different cities and shit, and buy them or whatever. But yeah, man, that's just a little story on, like, why in 06 I didn't really fuck with Jeezy, with The Inspiration, you know, and why now I look back at it like, okay, he definitely put in the groundwork for, you know, who he is now. Because sometimes you got to go back to understand where people, the path they chose as far as music. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had that one CD in their catalog where it was like, it was alright. You know what I'm saying? Between this and TM 103, I'm going to say this is better than TM 103. TM 103 had him chasing a fucking sound that wasn't for him. You know what I'm saying? He was really trendy on that album, and I think that all the fans was let down. I think it still went gold, if I'm correct, but it just was like, what the fuck is this? You're chasing something, you know, and with Seen It All, it's still 50-50. People still feel like, okay, it's dope, but his best album to date is always going to be The Recession. You could say TM 101 and The Recession. You can battle that, but other than that, you can't really battle nothing else. But yeah, man, that's just a throwback album review, you know what I mean? Seeing how, like, I had the album and I never reviewed it, I wanted to talk about it, you know what I mean? But I may do another one, you know, I don't know who yet, but definitely, man, I'm trying to pick CDs that have a story to it. I think I'm going to do Graduation next by Kanye West. That'll probably be my next throwback, you know what I mean, album. So for now on Saturdays, look forward to having a throwback album review, you know what I mean? Not Throwback Thursday, I'm switching it up, it'd be Throwback Saturday, you know what I'm saying? So next Saturday, stay tuned for that, man. Alright, y'all, I'm out. 1.